First question is Angora wool is extracted from which of the following animal? Rabbit. Angora wool is extracted from a specific breed of rabbit, not rabbit. It is renowned for its soft, silky texture and high quality fibers. For their wool, which is harvested through combing or shearing process. The wool is extremely lightweight, warm, and has a luxurious feel. Unlike sheep wool, Angora wool has very fine fibers and lacks the oils found in sheep wool, making it softer and smoother to touch. The production of Angora wool requires careful handling of rabbits as they are delicate animals. The wool is harvested multiple times a year without harming the rabbit. Characteristics of Angora wool. Angora wool is incredibly soft, lightweight, and has a natural sheen, making it is highly sought after in the fashion and textile industry. It has excellent thermal properties, providing warmth without being heavy. This makes it the ideal for winter clothing such as sweaters, scarves, and gloves. Angora wool has a tendency to shed fibers, which adds to its fluffy appearance but requires proper care during washing and maintenance. Angora rabbits are primarily bred for their wool. They are classified into four main breeds: English, French, Satin, and Giant Angora rabbits. Each breed has distinct characteristics and wool types. English Angora rabbits are small in size and produce fine quality wool, whereas giant Angoras yield more wool due to their larger size. These rabbits are generally found in cold climates and require special care to ensure their health and wool quality. Comparative analysis of other sheep wool from sheep is commonly known as sheep wool or merino wool. It is cautious and less luxurious compared to Angora wool. Goat wool from goats such as Kashmiri or Mohair is highly valued but differs significantly from Angora wool. Fox's fur is not typically used for wool production. The major production of Angora wool includes China, Turkey. China is leading for use production requires ethical practices, as proper handling of rabbit can lead to animal welfare concerns. Many organizations advocate cruelty-free methods for wool harvesting. Angora wool is widely used in luxury, such as sweaters, coats, walls, and socks due to its softness and warmth. It is also used in blended fabrics, often mixed with other fabrics like wool or synthetic fibers to enhance durability and reduce. In 2025-24, the Jharkhand Forest Department intended a specific census for which lesser carnivore in Latvian districts. Indian grey wolf. The Jharkhand Forest Department initiated a specific census in the Latvian district during the year 2024-25 to focus on the Indian grey wolf, a lesser known carnivore species. Indian grey wolves, Canis lupus pallips, are classified as species, subspecies of the grey wolf and are native to the some continents. They are often referred to as lesser carnivores due to their size and their role in the ecosystem. The population of the Indian grey wolf in Latvian district serve as a suitable habitat due to its forest cover and prey availability. The primary objective of this includes understanding the discrete distribution of the Indian grey wolf, identifying potential threats to survival, and promoting conservative strategies. The Indian grey wolf is listed under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection 72, highlighting its conservation priority in India. The agency also contributes to the broader efforts to conserve lesser known carnivores, which plays a critical role in maintaining the ecological balance of forest ecosystems. Indian grey wolf is smaller and lean compared to other grey. Fur is typically a mixture of grey and light brown shades, helping its camouflage in dry and grassy landscapes. The species is found in dry grasslands, scrubland, and forest area across Pakistan. The Hathia district with its forested and in an ideal habitat for its species. Indian grey wolves primarily prey on smaller animals like hares, dodo, and some birds. They may occasionally hunt larger prey such as deer or livestock, which often brings them into conflict with humans. Social structures: these wolves generally live in small packs, often comprising an alpha leaders and communicate using all senses and markings. The evolutionary structure of the Indian grey wolf has industry to habitual hunting and human wild conflicts. Indian leopards are found in Jharkhand. Well suited species and not classified as carnivores. Clouded leopard. This species is not native to Jharkhand, it's primarily found in Oxygen and is not the focus of the census. Striped hen, although striped hen is present in Jharkhand, they were not specific focus of the census. Data collection. The census provides useful data for understanding the population dynamics and habitat requirements of the Indian variable by identifying important threats such as habitat, predatory accommodation, human interference, conservation strategies can better tailor. The findings of the census can influence wildlife policy and promote the implementation of protective measures under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Conservation challenges. Human wildlife conflict. India wolves often comes into conflict with human due to livestock predation, leading to regulatory killings, habitat loss, urbanization, and agricultural expansion, as human science, reducing the natural habitats of these wolves. Lesser carnivores like the Indian grey wolf often receives less attention compared to large predators like tigers or leopard, strengthening anti-poaching laws and involving local community in conservation efforts are critical for the species survival. Promoting awareness campaigns to reduce human wildlife and the implementation compensation scheme for livestock losses can mitigate challenges. 3. In the context of mining research project in Jharkhand is currently the world's largest deep underground coal gasification pilot study site. Coal block located in Jamtara district, Jharkhand, part of India's rich coal belt hosts the world's largest deep underground coal gasification pilot studies covering converting coal underground into syngas without traditional mining. But Casta Pilot is India's largest experimental UCG site, a flag inventory on coal innovation project, energy security, and India's technological capital in coagulation and underground energy extension. Deep underground coal gasification. Underground coal gasification advanced technology where coal is converted to syngas, a mixture of hydrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, through controlled combustion with the coal steam. This process eliminates the need for surface mining, reducing environmental degradation and improving safety for workers. Universal coal gasification is a cost-effective, environmentally friendly, and capable of utilizing deep coal seams that are otherwise economical and for traditional mining. Zaria coal fields. Zaria coal fields famous for high quality bituminous coal. Its primary production coking coal, which is essential for the steel industry. Situated in Dhanbad district, Jharkhand, covers an area of 50 square kilometers. The coal field has been plugged by underground fire for decades, which poses environmental threat and health risks. And efforts are underway to mitigate these issues. Rajmahal coal field, known for its thermal coal, its primary supplies coals for power generation. Birbhum Grasila belt. This is a mineral-rich belt but has non-permanent coal reserves. Kasta coal, it is small coal in Jharkhand, does not match the scale or significance of Zaria coal in terms of global recognitions. Coal is a vital energy source for India, contributing over 70% of its electricity generation in works like universal coal gas business are essential to meet the growing energy demands while addressing environmental concerns. Process. Other countries like Australia, China, and South Africa were also investing in universal coal gas-based technology to utilize their coal resources effectively. India's focus on universal in coal gasification through projects like Zaria Coalfield Price Study highlights the important commitment to adopting sustainable mining practices. The traditional coal mining methods have significant adverse impact on the environment, including deforestation, land degradation, and air pollution. Technology like universal coal capture aims to minimize these impacts while ensuring humans efficient resource utilization. Question 4. Which area was the industrial sector? Like a second year 5. 1956 से 61 was focused on rapid installation of the Alonso's model, which emphasized the development of heavy industries and capital goods industries. Plan aimed to promote the development of industries like steel, heavy machinery, and engineering goods to build the foundation for self-reliant economic growth. The primary goal was to achieve socialist pattern of society through the expansion of the blue-collar sector and industrial development. This was seen as a way to reduce income inequality and resources. The government established several public sector infra like Bila Steel Plant, Durga Steel Plant, and Star Machine Stores to achieve industrial growth. During this plan, the industrial sector received the highest allocation in the budget compared to the sectors like agriculture transport, indicating the emphasis placed on industrialization. The aim of the second five-year plan was to increase the production of capital goods, create job opportunities, and reduce dependence on imports of additional goods. Second five-year plan was Chapan sector. It was formulated under the leadership of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru with the advice of economist Prashant Chandra Mahalanobis. This plan is to set the development of public sector and aims to build infrastructure for industrial growth. The industrial policy resolution on Japan was adopted during this period was categorized industry into three schedules based on the level of cash involvement. Heavy industry like steel production from Vilaya, Rourkela and Durgapur, steel plants, engineered goods were prioritized to build a strong industrial base. It aims to achieve growth rate of 4.4%, although the actual growth rate achieved 4.2%. Special emphasis was placed on reducing import dependency for industrial machinery and equipment, thereby promoting self-reliance. Agricultural sector, although agriculture was important, the focus shifted to modernize the economy. Community development programs and land reforms were introduced during this period, while some projects like road and railway were expensive or undertaken. Their share in the budget was lower compared to industries. Poverty alleviation and direct measures like creating industrial job contributed to poverty reduction, but it was not the main focus of this plan. While on this model emphasized investment in heavy industry to create a strong industrial base for economy, it is assumed that the rapid industrialization would help achieve long-term growth and modernization. Public sector expansion. Public sector enterprise played a key role in its development, developing to the establishment industrial plants, power projects, and engineering unit. The government adopted a mixture economic policies in industrialization, like insufficient agriculture growth and under utilization of resources. The heavy dependence on public funding strengthens the government by just leading to resource. Yeah, 1 kilowatt is equal to 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3600 kilojoule per hour. 1 kilowatt hour is defined as the energy consumed by device of power 1 kilowatt in 1 hour. A kilowatt is a unit of electric power. 1 kilowatt is a thousand watt. Watt equal to joule per second. 1 horsepower equal to 740 watt. One. Which is specialized sports facility in Jharkhand is the only one in states to features a dedicated vendome for international standard track cycling. Sidhu Kanu Vendome Ranchi. Sidhu Kandu Velodrome located in Ranchi, Jharkhand is the only specialized for sports facility in the state to feature a dedicated velodrome for international standard track cycling. A velodrome is a cycle arena with a specialized design over track regularly used for competitive track cycling events. These tracks are constructed with high bankings to allow cyclists to achieve high speed safely. The Sidhu Kanu Velodrome is named after the tribal freedom fighter Sidhu Kanu, who played a significant role in the Santhal rebellion of 1855 against British colonial rule. This had cultural significance to the value. The velodrome is a key part of the Jharkhand sports infrastructure aiming to promote track cycling nature athletes for national and international states and national events, further putting Jharkhand on the map as a for sports development. While other options listed Birla Munda Tata Steel Astro I think the post when the state they are not featured. Velodrome. Sidhu Kanu Velodrome located in Ranchi, Jharkhand. The velodrome meets international standard, ensuring professional grade facility for athletes is present in training cyclists and allowing them to compete in international cycling events. The program also emphasizes grassroots development, encouraging young talent in the state to pursue cycling as a professional sport. But some of the athletes' stadiums located in Ranchi, the stadium Tata Street Cycling Academy based in focus on cycling, but does not feature several from it provides training providing cyclists in road cycling discipline. Situated in Moravad, Ranchi, this is recognized stadium and as a hosted Indian League matches. Track cycling. Track cycling is a form of competitive cycling that takes place on specially designed track called velodrome. These tracks are oval shaped with steep banking to help riders maintain speed. Velodromes are essentially for nurturing tracks talent in Track cycling, allowing athletes to honor their skills in a controlled and safe environment. Cycling is featured in events such as Olympic Asian Games and World Commonwealth Games. India has been focusing on developing cycling infrastructure to encourage participation in these events and with proper prospects. The trial farm in India is largely confined to the region having annual rainfall less than 75 centimeter. First to agricultural practices. Fall is generally falling between 50 to 75 centimeters. These areas rely primarily on moisture stored in the soil rather than irrigation. In India, dry land farming is the most common in semi-arid and arid regions, particularly in states like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. The region with less than 75% of annual rainfall are suitable for dry land farming due to their limited water availability. This type of farming focuses on cultivating drought resistant crops such as millets, pulses, oilseeds, and certain varieties of legumes that are required minimal. Farmers in drylands areas adopt several techniques to conserve soil moisture such as mulching, contour following, and intercropping. These techniques help optimize water use and improve productivity. Regions with less than 25 sour per chargeable are generally get arid or extremely arid zones unsuitable for most type of farming except dry farming with access to irrigation facility or natural water sources. Characteristics of dry farming, dry land farming depends on agriculture, rainwater, and involves the cultivation of crops that can survive in the region with low rainfall because low soil and water conservation techniques to ensure maximum utilization of the limited water available. Farmers often grow drought resistant crops like millets, sorghum, bajra, pulses, chickpeas, maize, and peas, as oilseeds. Groundnut mustard attract regions practicing dry land farming in India, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh. These are really characterized by the irregular rainfall patterns, requiring adaptive agricultural practices. Techniques used in dryland farming. Farmers have used methods like mulching, covering the soils to retain moisture, cover contour bunting to reduce water runoff, and crop rotation to sustain soil fertility. Water saving techniques like drip irrigation and rainwash are also important in some areas. Challenging for dryland farming. Farmers often face from like crop yield, soil erosions, and prelims to droughts, limited access to technical irrigation facilities, and financial resource. Further accelerated the isolated dryland farming region. Rainfall in India. Arid region less than 50 centimeters rain, for example, in part of Thar deserts. Dryland region 50 to 75% rainfall found in semi-arid zones like the central and western India. Wet region more than 50% rainfall found in areas like northeast India, West Bengal, and Kerala. Example of drought resistant crops: millets, bajra, per millet, jawar, sorghum, and ragi, high in millet. Pulses: moong dal, gram gram, arhar, pigeon pea, and grain, chickpea, oilseeds, groundnuts, sunflower, and mustard. The Jharkhand Education Project Council has integrated disaster relief into school building using the BALA concept. What does this concept entail to the disaster management school authority? Building as a learning aid uses a social itself for safety education. BALA disaster resilience safety education into the physical structure of school building. It aims to use the school environment itself as a teaching tool for safety and disaster preparedness. This concept involves designing school building in a way that they do not only serve their primary purpose as space for learning but also provide students with the knowledge and skill to respond to disaster effectively. Key features of the school infrastructure includes visual aids, parking, and model that includes and about disaster preparedness, such as evacuation routes, assembly points, and emergency response techniques. Structural safety. The buildings are constructed or retrofitted to natural disasters like earthquake, flood, and cyclone, ensuring the safety of students and teachers. Engagement with students. The design encourages active participation of students in understanding safety measures through practical exposure and hands-on learning, encouraging high local agile. The infrastructure is tailored to address regional specific risks, such as flood resistant design, flood prone area for safety within the region, brought to wildlife. This approach is particularly beneficial for disaster prone regions where such a flood resistant design flood area for fire safety. This approach is particularly beneficial for design prone disaster prone region where children are among the most vulnerable groups during emergency with the knowledge to protect themselves. Now that the Jharkhand Education Project Council has adopted this concept to ensure that the school buildings not only serve as a center for learning but also act as a safe and haven during disasters. This is of other option basically life saving. Applying this refers to equipment like AR extension and first aid kits, which are essential for the emergency response but do not encompass the holistic approach to integrating disaster, but not the core of the Bharat. Very assist for low-income areas. While accessibility is crucial, especially in low-income regions, this focuses more on inclusion rather than education, biological and atmospheric laboratory analysis. This pertains to sustainable scientific monitoring and also when markets such as air or water quality and is unrelated to the concepts of using learning kits. Importance of disaster in school often serve as the shelters during disasters, making the structural safety and preparedness vital. This resilient schools helps to minimize casualty and ensure continuity of the education for disaster. They foster a culture of anti-disaster among students and community. Including some of the Bala in India, the Bala concept is a part of several incident education and disaster management programs in India, such as National School Safety Program. It promotes integrated training in permit violations in the disaster. Example, Bala implementation includes schools in North Punjab, Gujarat, and Puran area of Bihar. The Bala concept is not just about info, but a parallel technical that enhances learning through the practical exposure to safety measures. It aligns with global framework like the Sendai framework for disaster reduction. 2025 impacting reduction awareness is creation the approach scalable and can be adapted to various socio-economic and geographical context. Making the virtual to disaster management. Question now. According to synchronous all India elephant emission, process of species is utilized in the NMS genetic migratory capture for the first time out of the estimate averaging population of the Jharkhand. 217 individual range of excellent chances of success. Synchronous all India elephant estimation. This is an extraordinary initiative to estimate the population of elephants in India. It is conducted periodically to monitor the health and elephants which are considered useful species DNA-based genetic mark. Recapture technique for the first time. This genetic method was employed in extensive process of DNA samples, usually to identify individual elements and estimate population size more accurately. The reported average elephant population for Jharkhand was assigned with a range of excellent as the reliable and scientific understanding of the population. The other options provided do not align the official findings. High. For instance, says option 1 says Otatani refers to several populations for Jharkhand. Option 3 says such individuals suggest growth due to software release center which is not applicable to Jharkhand current population estimation. Option 4 also sufficient will indicate migration from other services not something with the data for Jharkhand. The range of 189 to 186 reflects variability due to seasonal factors. Migration pattern sampling method. This range is standard practice in population ecology and certainties. Importance of accurate population estimation. Estimating the population of elephants will support conservation and mating many elephant complex. DNA-based genetic marker. Recapture technique. This method involves collecting genetic materials like drug or hair from animals in the wildlife, allowing it to identify individual animals. It provides more accurate population estimate that reduces methods like direct sighting or camera tracking. It is non-invasive and reduces the stress of animals. Used in estimation of population of evolutionary species such as animals. Elephants play a critical role in maintaining ecological balance by creating pathways, dispersing seeds, and shaping habitats. Habitat destruction, poaching, and human-elephant conflicts are major threats to their survival. Insects like progenitor elephant and sires and to conserving elephant clothing and other habitats. Jharkhand forests such as Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary are important habitats for elephants. Jharkhand was witnessing increasing conflict due to habitat encroachment and fragmentation. Launched in 1992 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change were intended to protect elephant their habitat and corridor and reduce human-animal conflict. Monitor elephant population across India and assess their distribution and trend. Scientific data to formulate conservation strategy and policies. A prominent area for elephant conservation of the state. Local communities are being involved in conservation efforts to address human-wildlife conflict. Another Jharkhand investment policy. Whether it is how many high priority sectors have been identified for incentives. 7. The Jharkhand Industrial Act introduced to boost industrial development and attract investment in the state of Jharkhand. It identifies 7 high priority sectors for enhanced incentive aiming to foster the economic industry with maximum growth potential. These sectors, 7 sectors identified under Jharkhand Industrial Policy 2018 include textile and apparel, automotive and auto company, agro and forest, food processing, electronic manufacturing, renewable energy, healthcare and medical education and tourism. Policy provides tailor-made incentives for these sectors, including subsidized tax exemptions and infrastructure supports to attract investment and promote industrial growth. The primary goal of this project is to create employment opportunities, enhance skill development, and ensure sustainable economic progress in Jharkhand. High priority sections is Jharkhand Industrial 2021. Textile and apparel. Jharkhand aims to build a hub for textile and apparel manufacturing by leveraging its natural resources like cotton and silk. The incentive includes subsidy on exchange land acquisition. Automotive auto company that should focus on promoting automobile manufacturing by providing facilitating its foreign tax rebates, agro and food processing. Agriculture being a significant sector in Jharkhand, the policy promotes agriculture industry for food processing and value addition, enhancing farmer income. Electronics manufacturing with growing demands in electronics. The state provides incentive for establishing manufacturing focusing on components like mobile phones and electric goods. Jharkhand purchases solar and wind energy project to ensure sustainable development and energy security. Healthcare and medical education. The policy encourages investment in health infrastructure, hospital and medical college to improve healthcare access. Jharkhand reaches cultural heritage and natural beauty. Make tourism a priority sector with plans to develop ecotourism and adventure tourism facility. Objective is Jharkhand Energy Policy 2021. Short track investment in identified sectors and create employment opportunity to ensure inclusion and sustainable growth by promoting eco-friendly industry to increase the state's contribution to India's industrial output. Expression of Aditipur industrial area, which hosts several automotive and auto component industries, to promote some solar energy projects under the renewable energy sector in Jharkhand. Development of project innovation and social development and skill enhancement species special incentive for women entrepreneurs and startups to encourage inclusive growth. The policy aligns with the central government making Indian institute targeting industry self-reliance through single window clearance systems to expedite industrial project approval. Special industrial zones and parks are being developed to cater to specific sectors like automotive and food processing.